It's Laurie at Sew Right Sewing Machines, and today I'm going to show you how to hand tie a quilt rather than quilting it to do that last step. We're not finishing the quilt, we're quilting the quilt. So first things first, why are we doing this? Why, when we have all these nice machines, are we hand tying it? One reason why, it gives it kind of a cozy look. It's not overly stitched over, so it's going to have a nice soft loft. Secondly, you might be in a hurry and you might just want to do something that's held on your lap. Maybe you want to do some handwork while watching a TV show or listening to an audible book or whatever. This is a nice task to do, and it's pleasurable. Another reason why is, say that your machine quilting skills aren't up to snuff and you've got some puffy marks and all this type of thing. This kind of alleviates any of those issues because it's going to have a nice soft look. Another reason why is maybe you don't want to quilt by check and you want to do something on your own. This is another nice method. And it doesn't take that many supplies. All you need are a few pins, curved basting pins, a needle, a large-eyed needle, and some larger size thread. So what you might have at home and what might be convenient are these types of embroidery flosses, which you can buy at any big box store. And you might have some left if, say, if you've done needlework or any other type of crewel work or craft work, you might have some of this in your house. So there's convenience in that. If not, you can also purchase threads like this YLI thread that are like a pearl crown rayon, and they're a larger, thicker thread. So it's probably like a 30 or 40 weight thread. What's nice with this too is oftentimes embroidery floss, you've got like at least 6 strands. So you're trying to struggle with all of that. This is just one strand. The thread I'm using today I found at a big box store. And what's nice is this one strand is rather thick. I don't have to muscle through trying to thread a needle with 6 thin strands. It's one integral strand right here. So in addition to that, you're going to need the needles. So crafters needles are quite good. These John James needles that we have in the store are great because they're all kind of categorized by size and scale or task. So you can find the right needle with a large enough eye to feed through the thread. You might want to make do with what type of needles you have at home. So it's always good to have a needle threader. It usually can fit through the majority of the eyes of a needle. The extra fine, probably not, but for the needle that we want to use, it's definitely going to work. So how do you use this wire? So you're going to stick the wire through the eye of the needle so that it's in there completely, okay? Then you're going to take the thread that you have and then you're going to feed it through the wire. Doesn't matter if you do it either way, as long as it's through the wire, okay? So I've got it through the wire. Now I'm going to pull the wire out from the needle and give it a slight tug, and now we've got our needle threaded. Make sure you have a long enough tail because you don't want to just undo what you did. So I'm just going to pull one end. Okay, there we go. Okay, now we've got it threaded. Well, let's look at the quilt top itself now. You need to prepare it for the tying. So you should pin it properly so that it's not going to move around or shift. And the best way to do it, and what I learned from one of the instructors or educators that came to the store, is not to pin in one direction, but to pin each pin in an opposite direction, about at least 4 inches apart. So we've got one heading left, right, and then we have one going up and down. Then we have one going left, right again. So you're going to alternate pin directions every row of pins that you do. So I would recommend, if you have pins, get at least 200 or 300 pins, believe it or not. It's worth the initial investment to have your quilt pinned properly. The next thing we have to decide to do is, where do I want to tie? Because this then becomes a decorative element. So you might want to hide it, and if you would, I would tie in the corners. But if you want to make it an accent, since I've got this pretty bright red thread and I've got these red poppies, I might want to stick it right smack dab in the middle of this rectangle. So I think I'm going to do that. So I want to put my tie right here. Couple of decisions. I want my little tie to show, the little tuft. You'll see what I mean. So I'm going to have my needle go down through the front. So here I go, down through the front. Pull it through all the way so you have one tail. Then back up. So from the back up, right next to it. Okay? You see the head of the needles right there. Actually, that's not the head. This is the point of the needle. Okay, all the way back up. Now, it doesn't matter how long this is because we can always trim it, but you need it long enough so that you can use your hands to tie it, and each person has their preference of length, okay? There's no hard, fast rule. So I'm going to go make a square knot. So I'm going to go under, like that, and now I'm going to take my left tail and go over my right thread, because then it's going to lay flush. If you've ever done macrame, this is one of the macrame stitches. And there you go. So what am I going to do now? I'm going to keep this thread, since it took me a little bit to thread it up. I'm going to cut it right here. And then I can trim this about the same size. So now all we have now is a cute little tuft on the front. And then on the back side, it's barely seen, just a little stitch right there. So keeping my thread, I can keep doing several of these. But now let's say you want to add a little pizzazz to your quilt. Oh, and keep in mind, you can always change the color of your floss to make that fun and decorative. So you could do that with all the different other block designs you might have. You might switch this up. And so you don't get bored, that might be another reason why you might want to do that as well. Okay, say that I want to add a little pizzazz to my quilt top. You can always add a button. So what I would do that way is, again, I would do it the other way around. I'm going to take my thread from the back to the front. I'm going to do it right here just for an example, okay? So from the back side, I'm pulling up, okay? I have my strand. Now I'm going to feed the button through. And then I'm going to put my thread back through the button and kind of go right back right next to that stitch I made. And then go down through the back. As if you were sewing a button on a garment. Okay, so now I'm going to go on the back side and do my square knot here. So what's going to happen is the tuft is going to show on the back side, and my cute little button will be on the front, and it'll be decorative. You know, if you're a button collector, this is a great way to get rid of all those cute little buttons and add some flair to your quilt top. Okay, this might be cute. Well, not on a baby quilt, because the babies could accidentally pull the button off, but on a decorative quilt, this would be great. So now you've got a cute little button on top. And that adds a lot of interest to your quilt top. And there you have it. Here we have a tied quilt. A lot of times people poo-poo the idea of tying a quilt, but actually it's a nice technique to have in your toolbox. It's great if you're running out of time, you've got a quick project, you're decorating a trivet or embellishing a table runner or a cute little quilt. You can use this technique, and it adds a lot of creative punch to anything you do. All right? Try it. Let me know what you think. And we love to see you with your projects. Thanks for sharing some time with me here. Have a good day. Bye.